just out of the field of view on the opposite side of that, on the space-facing side of the Russian segment, is the Poisk module, in which two Roscosmos cosmonauts, Expedition 73 commander Sergey Ryzhikov and flight engineer Alexey Zubritskiy, are suited up in their Russian Orlan spacesuits, undergoing a depressurization of the Poisk airlock, set to begin a planned 5-hour, 40-minute spacewalk, Russian EVA-64, to install experiments on the outside of the Russian segment of the station and to remove an old Canadian commercial camera system that has been aboard the station for a number of years. This spacewalk, again, the Russian Spacewalk 64, is the 276th spacewalk in support of ISS assembly maintenance and upgrades, the fourth spacewalk out of the International Space Station in 2025, the second spacewalk for Expedition 73 crew members. For Sergey Ryzhikov, a veteran cosmonaut, this will be his second spacewalk. His first totaled 6 hours and 48 minutes of spacewalking time. This will be the first spacewalk for Alexey Zubritskiy. Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy both launched aboard the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft back in April, along with NASA's Johnny Kim. They are scheduled to return to Earth on December 8th, U.S. time, December 9th, for a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan. Also involved in today's spacewalk is Roscosmos cosmonaut Oleg Platonov. He is inside the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module, set to operate the European robotic arm. That is the arm that you see very prominent in this field of view, a 36-foot-long robotic apparatus that will be used basically as a work platform, first for Ryzhikov to install a science package called the Molecular Beam Epitaxy Science Hardware Complex on the outside of the Nauka module. And then later on, it will be the work platform for Zubritskiy to jettison the camera system that he will be removing from the outside of the Zvezda service module as this planned 5-hour, 40-minute spacewalk continues. The space station at this hour is traveling 260 miles above the Earth, moving from northwest to southeast over the northwest Atlantic. All of the station systems are in good shape, and the other crew members not involved in today's spacewalk are also involved in other activities, including Zina Cardman and Kimiya Yui, NASA's Zina Cardman, and Yui from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. Yui and Cardman will be at the controls next week when the new JAXA HTV X-1, the new cargo craft for the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, arrives at the station. It is scheduled to launch from the Tanegashima Space Center in southern Japan next Monday night. We will be providing live coverage of that launch, and it will be arriving at the station on Friday, October 24th, for an automated rendezvous where it will be robotically captured by Yui, backed up by Cardman from the cupola workstation inside the station, as they will reach out with the Canadian-built Canadarm2 to grapple the HTV-X1 and then hand the robotic chores over to robotic ground controllers, who will mechanically install and bolt into place on the Earth-facing side of the Harmony module. That JAXA has been working tirelessly to develop, and which is now ready for launch from Tanegashima next Monday night U.S. time. As far as the spacewalk is concerned, the two cosmonauts, Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy, suited up in their Russian Orlan suits a few hours ago. They made their way inside the Poisk module airlock, began the depressurization of that airlock in a two-step fashion about 35 to 40 minutes ago. They reported good leak checks with their Orlan suits. These are two brand new Orlan suits that were flown up on a recent Progress resupply mission by Roscosmos. They will be opening the hatch somewhere in the neighborhood of about noon Central Time maybe about 1 p.m. Eastern Time for the start of their spacewalk. They're running a few minutes behind schedule with their preparations, but no harm, no foul as they prepare to float out into the void of space to begin their work day. This spacewalk, again, the 276th in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. In addition to the primary task of the installation of the molecular beam epitaxy experiment on the outside of the Nauka module, again, Sergey Ryzhikov will be riding at the end of the European robotic arm for that task. They will then work in tandem to remove from the Zvezda service module the high-resolution camera optical telescope. This high-resolution camera was a commercial endeavor by a Canadian entrepreneurial company that was installed during 2 Russian spacewalks in December of 2013 and January of 2014 by Alexey and Zubritskiy as part of that commercial endeavor. That commercial camera system has now completed its work, and so it will be removed and jettisoned later in today's spacewalk by Zubritskiy, whose feet will be planted in a foot restraint on this portable workstation at the end of the European robotic arm. It will be jettisoned retrograde from the International Space Station with no chance for recontact with the station itself as it makes its way slowly but surely to a safe distance away from the station, ultimately to burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. That camera system that will be jettisoned by Zubritskiy later in today's spacewalk weighs about 180 pounds. It is 2 feet by 4.6 feet by 2.3 feet. He will be holding on to what is called the monoblock. That's basically the case in which the camera is installed. And he will be jettisoning it retrograde from the station later today, the only item scheduled to be jettisoned during today's spacewalk. The 2 cosmonauts will also be cleaning one of the windows on the outside of the Zvezda service module, and then at the end of the spacewalk, assuming time permits, they'll be removing an experiment cassette from the outside of the Poisk module that has housed a number of materials exposure experiments over the past several months.
And the current pressure?
008.
0.081, 0.082. Okay, let's wait another 15 minutes.
The 2 cosmonauts in the airlock in the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment are in the process of breathing pure oxygen to cleanse nitrogen out of their bloodstreams. This is a common practice for all spacewalks, whether on the U.S. side or the Russian side. The procedure is designed to, again, purge the bloodstreams of the spacewalkers of any residual nitrogen and prevent any condition known as the bends or decompression sickness from occurring when they step out into the void of space. The Russian spacewalks are measured in terms of elapsed time from the moment of hatch opening on the Poisk airlock to the time of hatch closure. It's hatch opening to hatch closure to measure the elapsed time of a Russian spacewalk, unlike those conducted from the Quest airlock on the U.S. segment of the space station, whose elapsed time is measured from the time that U.S. extravehicular mobility units are placed on internal battery power until those spacewalkers are back inside the Quest airlock and to begin the repressurization of the airlock itself. So we'll be waiting for confirmation from Russian flight controllers that you see there in this view from a balcony camera in the Russian Mission Control Center in the town of Korolyov outside of Moscow, who will be providing us with the official start and stop time of today's spacewalk for the record books. After Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy make their way outside of the Poisk airlock, the first order of business after opening the hatch will be for the two cosmonauts to install a protective ring around the hatch itself. This is a precautionary measure to ensure that the hatch is protected from any inadvertent strikes from particles, to maintain a pristine condition for that protective ring around the outer circumference of the hatch itself. First out of the hatch will be Zubritskiy. He'll be carrying a crew lock bag filled with tools and other items associated with the tasks on tap for today's spacewalk. He'll be followed a few minutes later by Ryzhikov. Again, Ryzhikov with one spacewalk to his credit, that having been conducted several years ago, a 6-hour, 48-minute spacewalk back in November of 2020. This will be Zubritskiy's first spacewalk of his career. During the course of today's spacewalk, we also are expecting helmet camera views from both Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy to provide us with an up-close and personal view of the work that they're doing outside of the Russian segment of the station. Again, you're looking at the Nauka multi-purpose laboratory module just out of the field of view up top in this camera view from external cameras on the station is the Prishal module. That's the node module, a multi-hatched extension of Nauka, to which the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft is mated, having docked to Prishal back in April of this year. The Nauka multi-purpose laboratory module with the European robotic arm attached to it was launched and arrived at the station back in 2021. Was subsequently outfitted over the course of a number of spacewalks. The European robotic arm launched along with Nauka, and again was activated and checked out over the course of a number of spacewalks, and has been used rather continuously for operations regarding science payloads outside of the Russian segment of the station, as well as transporting cosmonauts during spacewalks hither and yon along the various work sites on the outside of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. This is a busy time aboard the International Space Station in addition to today's spacewalk. Again, next Monday night, U.S. time, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency is scheduled to launch an H-3 rocket from the Yoshinobu Launch Complex at the Tanegashima Space Center in southern Japan. That launch will carry the new HTV X-1, the X standing for exploration. That is a brand new cargo ship that JAXA has been developing over the past several years, loaded with about 4.4 tons of food and supplies and experiments for the International Space Station. The HTV X-1 will be sent on a 3-day journey to arrive at the International Space Station on Friday, October 24th for an automated rendezvous following a number of checkout tests of the system's capabilities of that brand new cargo ship. This is the successor to the HTV, the legacy HTV, that flew 9 missions of resupply to the International Space Station from 2009 through 2020. There is another Russian spacewalk that is on tap for October 28th by Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy. That one, Russian EVA-65, will be the installation of a number of other science payloads on the outside of the station and the cleaning of other windows along the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module and relocating the control panel for the European robotic arm from one base point to another to provide more easily accessible capability for future spacewalking cosmonauts to reach that control panel. All of this activity we will continue to provide live coverage of next Monday night for the HTV X-1 launch from Tanegashima, the arrival of that new cargo ship to the station on October 24th, and the next Russian spacewalk on October 28th. Meanwhile, it's all quiet inside the Poisk module as the depressurization to vacuum of Poisk continues. We're expecting to hear more from the cosmonauts shortly as they will conduct communications and Orlan suit systems checks with the flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov outside of Moscow. Here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, the Orbit 2 team of flight controllers on console, led by Flight Director Garrett Hain, who is monitoring activities both outside the station and inside, where other work is being conducted by the other crew members of Expedition 73. To his right, at the top of your screen, is spacecraft communicator Matthew Dunn, who is talking to the expedition crew inside the station when required throughout the course of the day's activities today.
Initial position check of controls. Okay. Putting 9.1 in work. O2 flow selector off. Regulator off. Copy. All right. Regulator primary for first, secondary for EV2. Tank primary. Tank primary. Copy. Primary fan, primary vent on for EV1 and EV2.
Sergey Ryzhikov, who is the space station commander at this time, will be wearing the Orlan suit bearing the red stripes as EV1 or extravehicular crew member number 1. His spacewalking partner, Alexey Zubritskiy, is EV2. He'll be wearing the Orlan suit bearing the blue stripes today. The International Space Station is flying from northwest to southeast over the South Atlantic, just to the west of South Africa at this hour, about 260 miles above the Earth. All of the station's systems are in good shape, and as you just heard and will be hearing over the next several hours, the interpretation of the conversations between Russian flight controllers and the two cosmonauts as they conduct their spacewalk today. Again, as previously indicated, we're running about 15 minutes behind the planned timeline. The spacewalk scheduled to last about 5 hours and 40 minutes. Once again, the tasks to be conducted today by Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy include the installation of a molecular beam epitaxy science experiment on the outside of the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module. This experiment is designed to grow high-quality thin films and crystals in the ultra-high vacuum of space, which can also be beneficial for the development of semiconductors. The two cosmonauts will be removing from the Zvezda service module and later jettisoning a high-resolution camera telescope system that has been operating for the past 11 years on the outside of the international complex. They'll be cleaning at least one window on the exterior of Zvezda and removing a materials exposure experiment cassette from the outside of the Poisk module before they enter the Poisk airlock to complete today's spacewalk.
Copy, you have a go to open guys there, so manually. Copy, current pressure is 6. 100. 605. Alright, once you open car is there, you're monitoring the MV pressure and the Orlan pressure. Copy. Monitoring Orlan pressure on the sky Orlan pressure gauge. Alright, I am opening guys there as so. Copy. It's open.
The flight controllers in Korolyov are reporting, as are the cosmonauts, that the pre-breathe of pure oxygen has now been completed. Again, this is a routine activity for all spacewalks to cleanse spacewalkers' bloodstreams from any residual nitrogen that might cause a condition known as the bends from occurring when they move out into the vacuum of space.
Should have it in the 035, 034, 470 is the pressure and 0.4 is the suit pressure. Copy. That is looking good. You are getting to the desired pressure in the suit. Alright, 300 is in the module. 0.039 is the suit pressure. Alright, and once you get to 350 on the MV, you can open KSZ2 as an extra to KSZ. So, copy, 350. 350 is the pressure in the module, and we're opening KSZ2. Copy, KSZ2 to open. It's open. KSZ2 is open. Continue with deep press, and we can turn off the injector, right? Wait for the counter. Look at the right counter on the display. What does it show? 1 minute 40 seconds. Copy. Once you get to all zeros, that's when you can turn it off. Copy. And once you get to 340 millimeters, $180. Great. There was a short LOS. Tell me, what do you see on both suits? 039 for EV1, 038 for EV2. Copy. 155 is the pressure in the module.
As we monitor the conversations between the Russian flight controllers and the cosmonauts inside the Poisk airlock, once again this view of the Nauka multi-purpose laboratory module launched back in 2021 on a Proton rocket from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, and a very prominent view of the 36-foot-long European robotic arm. Affixed at the end of that robotic arm is a portable workstation that contains a foot restraint called the Yak foot restraint, to which Ryzhikov and later Zubritskiy will be planting their feet at various times during the spacewalk to conduct their tasks.
Suit pressure is 0.38 and unintelligible 105. Copy. And MRM2. once you see pressure changes in MRM2, you should get a notification that MRM2 BSS should be put in O2 open EVA. Once you get, both of you get the notification, do that. All right, EV1, I got the notification. Copy, EV1 got the notification. BSS O2 open EVA. Copy, EV2. 80 is an MRM2. And suit pressures are inaudible. And once you get to pressure 20 per the MV, please put BSS open EVA. Copy.
And a different view of the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module and the European robotic arm, which is in the correct configuration for the start of today's spacewalk, which the time of which will be marked at the moment of hatch opening. At the top of your view here, from external cameras on the International Space Station, is the Prishal node module. And just out of the field of view is the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft that will be the ride home for NASA's Johnny Kim, Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy on December 8th U.S. time, December 9th Kazakhstan time.
Is the suit pressure for EV1 and 2. That's good. MRM2 pressure is 30, and EV pressures are holding stable. 36 is for EV2. That's good, Alexey. And we are standing by for 20. You can put BSS O2 open EVA once we reach 20 millimeters, and then we will be standing by for 12 millimeter mark. We are at 20, and I'm putting BSS in O2 open EVA. Copy. Confirmed. And we're going down to 12 millimeters. When we get to 12 millimeters, we're going to put KSZ-2 to close position and then KSZ-SO to close. Copy.
Sergey, Ryzhikov and Alexey Zubritskiy inside the airlock of the Poisk module that is out of the field of view from our cameras on the outside of the space station at this moment. They're in the final steps of the depressurization of the Poisk airlock. Just a few more steps to go before they open the hatch to mark the official start of today's spacewalk.
Copy, 14. We are at 12 millimeters in MRM2. We are ready to close KSZ-2. You have a go to close KSZ-2 and KSZ-SO. KSZ-2 is closed. KSZ-SO is closed. Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston. The word from the Russian flight controllers is that the depressurization of the Poisk airlock is now complete, as Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy now go through the final steps of communications checks and leak checks that will lead to the opening of the Poisk hatch a short time from now.
Copy. Let's set the timer to 5 minutes. Copy.
The International Space Station flying into an orbital sunset over the southern Indian Ocean, about to begin a southwest and northeasterly track that will carry it across the west coast of Australia just a few minutes from now.
Together, if you remember, the lights are on the left, the headlamps are on the left and the right. So the first you press it once and it's regular light, twice it's more directed light, and third one is like general lighting. Well, which one do you want? Try number 2 and see if you can stay with the focus light version. And please report when you put it in work. All right. Is the direction okay? Yes, not bad. All right, all 4 lights are on. In the second mode. Copy. We are standing by for EV2. Hold on. Don't do that. Got it. Great. Do you want me to adjust it for you? Not. It's okay. All right, we have the lights on. For both, right? Yes, and thank you for the reminder. What's the current pressure and how much time has passed? 3 minutes have passed and the current pressure is 11. Copy. Alright, now we can start getting ready. Getting Q-Part 7 ready. Autoline transition to autonomous power.
That call from Sergey Ryzhikov indicating that the crew is ready to place their suits on battery power. That is what is known as autonomous power, disconnecting from station power through the Poisk airlock.
Now we're going to be disconnecting the umbilical, and before the sublimator kicks in, we would like to have some cold water running through, so that's why we're recommending the cool down or the chill. Alright, we are putting the temperature control handles to position 6. Okay, EV1 is in position 6 and position 6 for EV2. No, guys, go back to where you used to have the settings, but when we start transitioning to autonomous power, that's when you need to put it in work.
The two Roscosmos cosmonauts are setting their suits on the proper temperature for when they open the hatch and step out into the void of space. They'll be in an orbital sunset, so they're adjusting the temperature to the appropriate level for both of their brand new Orlan spacesuits.
Sergey, how much time has lapsed and what's the current pressure? 5 minutes. Pressure? Copy. Pressure is 11. Stable. Copy. That's good. So now you can start working for Q-Part 7, Step 11, and work with the cold heat valve. You have a go to work with the temperature control handle. Copy. We switch to 6. Copy. 0:36 first, 0:35 the second one. We're turning off the primary fan and the adapter as well as the transmitter. Copy, and I confirm as well on my suit the same.
This is Mission Control Houston. If you're just joining us, two Roscosmos cosmonauts, Sergey Ryzhikov, the International Space Station commander, and flight engineer Alexey Zubritskiy, are about to place their Orlan spacesuits on internal battery power in the airlock and the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. And then we'll be opening up the hatch to Poisk to mark the official start of today's spacewalk. The highlights of which will be the installation of a molecular beam epitaxy science experiment on the outside of the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module, the removal from Zvezda of a high-resolution camera system that later will be jettisoned by Zubritskiy. It's no longer needed or functional on board the complex. They will also be cleaning one of the windows on the outside of Zvezda and removing a materials exposure experiment cassette from the outside of the Poisk module before concluding a spacewalk today that is expected to last about 5 hours and 40 minutes.
Yes, and the power is nominal. All right. So then you can press on with MRM2 procedure, tow mode. Tow is off or left. Power is off. Suit 1 off. Suit 2 off. We unmated the electrical umbilical. Copy.
And the two spacesuits being worn by the cosmonauts are now on internal battery power.
Suit 1 off, suit 2 is off, unmated. So we're closing, putting the cover on the connector, covered. Sergey, Alexey, if it's not very convenient to work with umbilical, then you can assist each other. So the main objective is to help each other to save your own energy and just assist as required. We copy. So we are unmating umbilical. So did I understand it correctly? So both umbilicals are off for FF. Yes, we confirm. And then you covered them with MLI covers. Yes, we have covered them already. For umbilical 1 and umbilical 2. Copy. Second is unmated, so are we putting in a secure position? Yes. So put some umbilical plugs and then covers. Use the covers for them. MLI flap is on, and suit 1 umbilical is unmated. Copy. EV2 also unmated. So we're switching O2 to close. Copy. Alexey, did you close the ARCA valve? EV1 closed, EV2 closed. Copy. So I understand that you're speaking simultaneously. Copy. Pressure in the first tank is 414. Our main primary tank is 410 and the pressure is 0.36. Copy. So we're waiting for 1 minute. Copy. All right, guys. Then I'm handing you over to Artyom. We are going with the schedule very well. So when we do the back airlock operations, then I'll talk to you again. And here is Artyom. Good luck to you guys. Thank you. We appreciate it. Sergey, Alexey, hello. Artyom, good evening. How is your mood? Already? Come again? I'm just asking, how is your mood? Oh, absolutely. We are ready. That is good news. Okay, let's do some checkout. I just want to make sure you have secured all the tools and all the hardware inside the airlock. We have. Your spacesuits are also tethered with one tether. Is that correct? There was a drop in comm. Come again. Unintelligible. I was just saying there was a drop in comm, so I just want you to make sure you're tethered. Yes, then we'll start EV hatch opening. Alexey, please take the key and make sure that the hatch is in the operational mode, and then that Artyom, You come a little low. Could you please speak a little louder? Copy. In that case, please check the bolts of the emergency exit are turned to the maximum. Yes, all the handles, both handles should be in a closed position. Should be one above the other. I confirm, and they're actually facing each other. That is excellent. Then please insert the key for EVA position. Alexey, we will start EV hatch opening. Okay, please continue, speaking simultaneously.
And with that conversation, we're standing by for the opening of the hatch to the Poisk module that will mark the official start of today's spacewalk.
Copy. I'm inserting the range right now. Copy. So it's installed. I'm ready. I am beginning with the hatch opening. We copy. Copy all. I see the rollers are moving outside of the ladders. Copy. Now the handle should be in a position towards you. Once you see a little opening, then we'll start the EVA timer. Copy. Pressure is less than 10, but not 0 yet. So it is gradually decreasing. Six. 5. 4. 3. It is not going down at this point. Artyom, the pressure right now is 4. Copy. Just try unintelligible. Yes, we'll try again. Yes, we've got it. Copy. Alexey, prior to opening the hatch, let's just adjust things here. Just come a little closer to the hatch, and I will move the MLI. Otherwise, we will not open the hatch. Sergey is in the way. Can you see? Not really, I'm with my back. We need to lift it up slightly. And move it. Just kind of push it that way. Artyom, we are ready to open the EV hatch. Copy. In that case, so remove the adjustable tether and give your hook to Sergey. Copy.